Hi and welcome to the Accelerated SAT Mastery Question and Answer Series. Next question I have here is, can the SAT help me if I did poorly in school? And the simple answer for that is yes. First of all, schools are looking at your overall trajectory in school. So they look primarily at your grades from sophomore year, junior year, and half of senior year. Now, if you happen to have not done well freshman year, that's not generally going to count against you for college admissions. It may affect your high school GPA for graduation, but it won't necessarily affect for getting credits, but it won't necessarily affect your how your grades are considered for the sake of evaluating your GPA for college. But if your GPA is on the lower end and you want to give your application a boost, the SAT is the simplest way to directly affect your chances of getting into a better school. So schools have an index. They have kind of a chart that basically shows if you have this test score and this SAT score, then you reach the level for admission, right? So schools, the University of California, for example, has their own grid that shows what the minimum qualifications are for admission, and so does the California State University system. Every school has their own sort of like structure of what kind of the balance is between grades and test scores. But that being said, if you think about how much time you put into your classes, your regular classes, let's just take one math class. Let's say one algebra class from one school year. Think about how many hours you would go to class. It'd be roughly 180 hours of class time. You'd have probably at least, I'm guessing, 30 minutes of homework per day for that algebra class. So you're talking about putting in almost 270 hours of time into just that one class. Multiply that times, 5 or 6 or 7, depending on how many classes you take per year. And you get an idea of how much time is being put into your regular classes or should be put into your regular classes. Now for the SAT, if you think about this, you get the most bang for the time that you spend working on it. So I find that with SAT prep, the lowest usually the range I would put into working with a student is typically going to say about 12 hours of prep time. And I've had some students put in 40, 50, 60 hours of prep time. But it still pales in comparison to how much time they're putting into the regular classes. And that one SAT score is worth as much as all of their grades from high school combined. So it's one of those places where you can reach a high amount of leverage, and if you did poorly in school, it can directly affect your chances of getting into a better university.